You to our keynote speaker this evening. JoAnn Chavez is a native Detroiter who fills the role of Vice President, Legal and Chief Tax Officer for DTE Energy. She is a twice graduate of the University of Notre Dame and has over 25 years of experience with DTE. JoAnn is an active community member who currently serves as the chair of Michigan Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and is the president of the Michigan Hispanic Fund. JoAnn has been a friend to the MEP for many years, and she has been an inspiration to us all. Please help me welcome JoAnn Chavez to the stage.
Good evening. Tonight, I'm extremely honored to be here with you celebrating the Mercy Education Project and our doorway to the future. I really want to take this moment to personally thank Mercy Education for the role that you play in the economic empowerment and advancement for so many women and young girls in Detroit. Your work is absolutely critical to the revitalization of Detroit and southeastern Michigan. As the U.S. Supreme Court announced in Brown versus the Board of Education in 1954, they said, "It is doubtful that any person can reasonably be expected to succeed in life if he or she is denied the opportunity of an education." It is therefore important for us to remember that we in this room have the power to transform lives of the Mercy Education Project participants. I am living proof that through early intervention and education, women and girls like us, like me, can be successful. I am a second-generation Mexican American, and my parents were high school dropouts from a school not very far from here in southwest Detroit, Western International High School. I come from a long line of uneducated and underemployed people. My parents married young. My father earned 50 cents an hour delivering handbills to wealthy Detroit suburbs as they waited my birth exactly 9 months after they had married, or at least that's how the story goes. I don't think that my father was envisioning my future 23rd floor office as he delivered those handbills. But let's be clear, I wasn't born a DTE vice president. No one before me in my large extended family had ever attended college. I come from a long line of alcoholism, and my cousin joined gangs and have been incarcerated. Even my only sister lost her children to me in a war with drugs, alcohol, and the barrio. She died in 2015 at the young age of 47. My mother obtained her GED the same year I graduated from the University of Notre Dame with my undergraduate degree in accounting. She was 40 years old. From the beginning, education has been my godsend. In 1968, somehow my mother stumbled upon the Head Start program, and I am one of 32 million students that have participated in this pre-K program since 1965, and was one of the first Head Start participants in the city of Detroit. I know that this program, along with the teachers that stayed after school with me throughout my academic career, strongly influenced my life's trajectory. While my father eventually secured a job on the Chrysler assembly line, we often had too little money. There were no vacations, no dining out, one pair of Kmart shoes, one pair of jeans. No extras, yet we had family, food, and a roof over our heads. I can't recall if it was my drive to learn or my parents' desire for us to move up the socioeconomic ladder, but I was clearly pushed academically. My parents wanted more for us, and my father knew I was capable. My father often said that he would prefer that I earn a living with my brain rather than my back, and anything lower than an A was absolutely unacceptable. Funny enough, back in 1982, college never seemed optional, ever. We had no experience with college entrance exams, college applications, or even with FAFSA. All we had was a desire, a commitment, and a lot of luck. Yet, even though we had no experience with college, my family and I knew that education was and remains the game changer that can permanently transform the trajectory of one's life. For almost 36 years, I have kept all of my acceptance letters as a reminder of the significant opportunities that I had earned. We chose the university that was the furthest away and required me to contribute through work and student loans. We chose the University of Notre Dame because we felt at that time that it had the most opportunities to offer me in the long run, and I know we were right. The University of Notre Dame was far from home. At least it seemed like that in 1982. Yet it just wasn't the distance. It was managing so many other things that I had never been exposed to. I had to figure out what classes to take, what major to choose, how to study, and what to do with my newfound freedom. It was really hard because my high school had not prepared me adequately. We didn't have the AP classes, and I'd not grown up reading the great works of Chaucer, Dickens, and Bronte. And in addition to the academic rigor that Notre Dame presented, I also had to work very hard at my work-study job in the North Dining Hall. I worked 20 hours a week on the slop line. I scraped food from the plates as they floated along the conveyor belt. And some mornings I had to run directly to my classes. And after working on that line, you often couldn't get the smell off your hands. But education is opportunity. And because of my education and relentless pursuit of the American dream, I became an international tax partner with a large firm. I have lived in Chicago, New York, Washington, D.C., London, and Mexico City. I have traveled the world twice over, and I have successfully climbed the corporate ladder, and quite frankly, I'm not done. I have an obligation to myself, my family, and my community to push myself as far as I can go. As you know, education can be transformational for our most vulnerable communities, especially those like us who are working tirelessly in search of the American dream. Yet often, there are so many barriers to optimizing those educational opportunities. Substandard schools, family dysfunction. Yet programs like Mercy Education have successfully removed many of those barriers and have educated our women and girls and are transforming their lives. The tutoring and GED preparation will place these women and girls on the direct path towards economic independence. Research has shown that obtaining a high school diploma or equivalent has significant economics impact in the form of higher tax revenue, decreased cost for public health, welfare, and the prison system. In addition, what we do know is that some of the important non-economic values are increased in political and social participation, improved health for individuals and families, and improved family literacy. We have also seen interest in local and national politics and a stronger desire to vote, a newfound interest in supporting others in their educational journey, and the biggest impact, non-economic that is, would be on the culture of the family that begins to shift to one of the highly valued of the educational experience and educational outcomes. And it is becoming part of this family structure that aspires to economic independence and prosperity. It has also been estimated that high school dropouts cost the U.S. around $1.9 billion a year in lost tax revenue. And increasing the graduation rates might be the only way to turn around struggling budgets for various state and our national budgets. Nationally, a 90% graduation rate, which would include our GED graduates, would yield $1.8 billion in local, state, and federal taxes. I think that's important, everyone. This is not a charitable option. This is an economic imperative that we must support programs like the Mercy Education Project. I have traveled an improbable journey and defied the odds, and I am hopeful that as we all continue to support Mercy Education's work, we will create a more direct path to success for our young girls and women of color. Which one of our Mercy Education graduates will be our future corporate vice president? Better yet, our future CEO. Each of us has the power to help give the Mercy Education participants a clearer path to economic independence. Won't you join me? Join them on their improbable journeys? As Cesar Chavez said, once social change begins, it cannot be reversed. You cannot uneducate the person who has learned to read. You cannot humiliate the person who feels pride. You cannot oppress the person and people who are not afraid anymore. My father, David Alberto Chavez, died in 1990, the same year that I graduated from the University of Notre Dame Law School. As a Latina activist, DTE executive, Notre Dame alumna, and a Mercy Education PhD, I dedicate this moment to him. Si se puede, yes we can.